Hello again. Mario Games back for part 2 of my God Wars Dungeon series for 2007 RuneScape on the Vidyascape private server. So part 2 is going to be Sarah Boss, Ziliana. Uh, the main reason to go after her is for her God Sword, Sarah God Sword, which in my opinion is the best God Sword. It uses 50% of your spec bar to give you a chance to recover health and prayer points, and I think it has increased accuracy, so it's just good for a lot of things like bossing, like killing the other Zami and Bandos bosses and God Wars, and also for like Barrows and other bosses really. So this was probably, yeah, this was the first boss really I tried to farm. So gonna show this video of it, and first off I have my loadout here. You can see I'm compared to the Arma vid, I'm much more defense minded here. Um, the method that you use is basically kiting with ranged, so you take a lot less damage, but so you get a lot more kills, but it ends up you're being here a lot longer. So I think defense adds up a lot over that time. So that's why I've opted to, even though I'm using range, to use Varrock's helm and skirt, because they don't have a lot of subtractions to your ranged attack, and they provide good defense for against ranged and melee, which are actually the damages that you're going to be taking because you pray magic protection. So yeah, Dragon Fire Shield too. So you can see him plus 300 basically in melee and ranged defense. And then I use the Sarah Dragon Hide top for protection while getting kill count, which is I think is probably the best spot or best armor piece that you can use for that. And also I use Unholy Symbol for the Zamorak protection. I can't really think of other options you would want. If you don't have a Saradehyde top, maybe Saradehyde bracers or the Sarah book. But yeah, so probably easiest things to get are the Unholy Symbol and the Sarah book. But it definitely, if you have a Saradehyde piece, that's nice for this. And something I experimented a lot with was the boot slot. Between, you could either go with ranger boots or snake skin boots or boots of lightness, or I've just chosen to use white boots for the prayer bonus. I think the prayer bonus is kind of nice because you are here for so long, so it's just, it helps, and it also provides some melee defense, which like snake skin and ranger boots don't provide. So opting not to risk ranger boots, just taking some melee defense. And then I've also tried boots of lightness, like I said, which I didn't really notice a huge, like, I don't think it saves you on like an inventory spot for an energy pot, so I decided not to keep using it. But you can try it. But yeah, I ended up doing my grind using white boots majority of the time. And then I would say Archer Ring is really nice for this because you do take a lot of range damage, and the plus range attack while you're wearing all this defensive armor is really good. So do recommend that if you have one. And otherwise, just the standard things: Fury, Rune Crossbow, Bear's Gloves. And then my inventory, the setup is kind of designed around getting 5 kill count, so this is what that looks like. Depending, but this is a very dynamic fight, so it depends a lot on your luck, but I find that the main choice you have is the number of energy pots you bring. And I find probably if you want to go for 5 kills of Zillion, that 6 super energies is the absolute minimum. So that's what I've gone for here. And then I try to keep it low on the restores and brews just to save money, but you do need to bring some of those if you want to go for like several kills. So that's what I'm doing here with 3 restores, 4 brews, 2 prayer pots, 1 ranged pot. The problem if you brought like more brews would be that you also would need to bring another ranged pot, so kind of saving space by centering more on food. And yeah, that's about it for the inventory. Just diamond bolts again with regular addy bolts for killing trash and her minions. So I think that's a good explanation of my loadout, so I'll actually show the video of me running now. I'll press play and speed this up a bit because Sarah also has a very slow kill count. So not as slow as Armus, but definitely worth speeding up there because it is repetitive. But it is a lot easier than Armus. Basically, your goal here is to not take any damage while you're doing it. And I guess before I should say that, like a requirement for getting this kill count at the maximum efficiency is to have like level 83 Slayer so that you can kill the mages here. You could get away with less, but like the being able to kill spiritual mages is like huge because you'll get D-boots as a drop, as well as pure essence and like nature runes or law runes. So as you saw with my inventory, like you're using a lot of potions, so I think it's kind of crucial to have the 83 Slayer so that you can kind of recoup your losses on all these supplies you bring. So yeah, 83 Slayer, pretty nice. And so the way that you get kill count without taking damage or using your prayer is this area right down the rope where you enter. There's just a bunch of Saradomin and Zamorik mobs fighting each other. So basically you just want to tag them and while they're fighting another mob, and so if you just hit them once with damage and then like something else is killing them, you'll get the kill count. So that's an easy way to get it. So just target everything that's taking damage, hit it once and move on to the next thing. Just kind of like focus on the mages though, because you'll kill them pretty fast with your ranged attacks and they have the best drops. The priests also are they die pretty quick, so it's nice to tag them quickly. They don't drop anything, so don't focus on them, but like if that hellhound is killing one of them, like he'll probably kill it in seconds, so just tag it once and move on. Then there's also the spiritual warriors. They have some solid drops as well. They can drop rune halberds, rune longs, rune kites. So those are worth tagging as well. The spiritual rangers don't really drop anything, and so just hit them if they're taking damage. And you may actually want to, if you notice like Zamorik mobs are getting stuck behind walls and stuff trying to kill things, you may want to like kill the ranger that they're trying to kill, just so that it's good for you to have the Zamorik mobs like freely killing the Sara mobs. So just note there. Yeah, it looks like I'm getting close to being done. Just try to keep your prayer so that you're going to be drinking again a brew, a restore, and then a ranged pot before you enter the boss's room. So just try to keep your health points at max and keep your prayer points so that when restore will put you back at max prayer points. I'm not doing the best job, I think, here. Like I've seen myself be attacking the mages and they're attacking back, so looks like I finished though. I got 40 kill count, so I'll put it back to normal speed, and here we go into a Zilyana run going for 5 kill count. So as I said, you drink the pots before you go in. You also, after you get kill count, you need to probably turn off your run and just walk to the door, because you want to enter the door with 100 run energy. You're just like going to be wasting super energy doses if you don't do that. Then equip your diamond bolts and your fury, of course, and you can start kiting. And that's basically the name of the game for this fight, is kiting her around the edges of her square room. As you saw there, I got into melee range of her, and I guess 50% chance she will do a magic attack, which is why you pray magic, so that you're avoiding damage from that, as well as from Growler, the magic attacking minion. That's the best prayer to use for that. You're also going to be using Eagle Eye, and actually you don't use Steel Skin all the time, because you're here for so long that if you have Steel Skin up all the time, you're gonna go through your prayer pots too quickly, I found. That is unless a couple of Zilyana's drops are super restores and prayer pots. So if you do get that drop from her, then it is totally fine for you to keep Steel Skin up. But until you get that drop, you should budget your prayer a little bit better. So kind of the goal with kiting is that around each side of the square that you should be hitting her 3 times with a ranged attack. So I don't know if you're counting, but that's kind of how I'm counting when I'm doing the encounters. But yeah, obviously you can't do it, but if you're perfect, that's what you would be doing, is hitting her 3 times per side. And as you saw with that magic attack, she kind of pauses for a couple seconds. So when she does that, you can stop kiting, and you can hit her twice for free, basically. So just note that whenever she pauses to do that kind of magic attack animation, hit her twice, and then you need to run. So yeah, this is just about it being as efficient as possible, because if you are not able to like hit her 3 times per side, then you're gonna need more energy pots. Like this run is recorded after me farming it quite a bit, so when you're starting out, you'll probably need more energy pots just to get used to the fight. But just note on that is usually the delimiting factor as far as how many kills you can get is your energy, unless you get really unlucky or you like are still learning kiting and then you get wrecked by your melee attack or something. But something I'm doing here is, after the first kill, is that I don't kill the minions, I just weaken them all. And that's because it's pretty hard to kill all the minions before she respawns. So what I'm doing is just weakening them all so that I can kill them all really quickly then after the next kill. And that way I can use the prayer altar to get prayer points restored, and also I'll be like, that's like a full minute or something of not taking any damage. So just a trick there for kind of saving some supplies after one of the kills, which just adds up, because if you're going for this Saradomin hilt, you'll be doing this a lot, and it is so supply intensive that you'll want to be taking shortcuts like that. So here's the second kill starting. think I got ran our seeds the first kill. That's fairly nice considering you'll be going through prayer pots. Probably other than her rare drops, probably the best thing to get is she can drop 6 diamonds, so it's really nice that she does that because you'll go through a lot of diamond bolts doing this, so just look out for that. Just watching myself kite. Otherwise, the things she drops are mostly like potions. So she can, if you get lucky, you'll get a drop of 3 super restores and 3 Saradomin brews. So that if you get that, then you're like good to go. You'll be able to last fine for until you run out of run energy, basically. And then her minions also drop a lot of food, and they can even drop summer pies, which give you 20% run energy. So there you see I got meleeed, so I'm not. It's really hard to do this perfectly, but in theory, if you kite perfectly, you'll take no melee damage. But it's really hard to do, especially over the 20 or 30 minutes you'll be inside this in the boss room with her. The good news is she doesn't hit too hard. I guess she's very accurate, but like her max hit is 25, I think. So you won't get absolutely wrecked like you will with like some of the other God of War's bosses. So it's not the end of the world if you get meleeed, but it'll add up over time if it keeps happening to you. So if you get into a situation where, well, there you see how I was able to kill all 3 ads really quickly. So now I'm kind of getting a break between kills, and there's the 3 monkfish drops. So that's really nice for efficiency. And yeah, you get a lot of law runes too from her. Like she can drop 100 law runes. And also her ads drop them, so that's nice for enchanting your diamond bolts. Otherwise, she just drops like coins and some rune items, which sometimes she drops an adamant chestplate, which you might not actually want to pick up because it'll add energy to your inventory, or add weight to your inventory. So that's not the best. Especially early on if you're like carrying a bunch of adamant chest plates, but yeah. Oh, here's the thing, is deciding how zoomed in you want to be while fighting her. I found that it's not better to be totally zoomed out or totally zoomed in. You kind of want to be in between your zoom level so that you can click far enough away to kite well, but you don't want to be zoomed out all the way, or it's just kind of, it's hard to be accurate with your clicks when you're that zoomed out. So that's just what I find, is it's best to be kind of in between. But yes, the damage you're taking here is melee and range, so Varrock is definitely nice to reduce that by just having a bunch of range defense. The only bad thing is my range attack is pretty low, so this can get frustrating sometimes where you just miss a lot with your bolts. So it's just it's a boss fight of endurance. That's how I think of it. It's okay to just like, I know I said you're aiming to get 3 shots off on her on each side of the square, but don't do that at the cost of like getting hit by her, because that's gonna cost you in the end. So and it's also very dynamic by the drops you get. Like so far I've gotten those monkfish, so I was able to so I can kind of be more liberal with taking damage. But if I was just getting totally screwed on drops, then um, then I would be like using my super energies more and like running more, so and only maybe like taking 2 shots per side. So that's kind of a feel thing that you get from experiencing the fight. Is how to budget your supplies. Like I've seen some people, they bring way more super energies, like 7 or 8, and so that you could opt to do that, but and it'll like allow you to kite more and like not require you to like to get 3 per side as often. So just a thing to think about. Trying to give these pro tips. I think I killed her 251 times before I got my Sara hilt, so it takes a long time. You'll be going through a lot of super energies and a lot of Sara brews, a lot of restores, so just be thinking about efficiency. Oh, here's another thing is after you kill her is you should turn off your run and just be walking. And you want to be killing the mobs as quickly as possible, but you don't want to be wasting your run energy doing it. So I kind of do like a walking kite as I just like walk to the drops that they give. But then you also don't want to stay in the middle, so I'm kind of moving back to the side here so that when she respawns I'm not right next to her and don't get meleeed and wrecked by her. So kill order you should follow is Bree first, then Starlight, and then Growler lastly. You can turn off like Steel Skin after you kill Bree and Starlight, but then turn it back on once you get Zilyana. Re-equip your diamond bolts when you're attacking her again. There's also the matter of when to use food versus using your Sara brews, and generally I think sorry, I screwed up my screen from clicking off it while kiting her. But so I try to use my Sara brews when she's dead, so that I have my defense up when she respawns, and then I can use a ranged pot. That's the problem mainly, is when you're using Sara brews, it screws up your ranged pot by reducing your ranged attack. So to get the most out of your ranged pot, which you want to have the uptime for when you're fighting the boss, you should be using your Sara brews between kills. So yeah, I think that's how I'll explain it, is use Sara brews between kills, use food while you're killing her. Just the only thing is that food has a longer tick on it, as far as like if you're drinking pots and shooting her between, you can still get away with like 3 shots per side, but if you're eating food, it's a lot longer between your attacks. So just know, like if you eat a shark, you'll probably be waiting and you'll have to run farther before you can attack again. So that's kind of a way a thing I had to get used to is eating, is that you have to run a bit further, because it really sucks when you like turn to attack her but you don't actually attack yet because you're waiting on that. So just remember that. And that's actually a reason why like the potion mix meme is actually not such a meme on this fight. It's really valuable to be able to regen hit points without incurring that cooldown that food gets you. So if you can afford the time to get caviar for like prayer mixes or super energy mixes, it's really nice for this fight. Looks like this is going to be kill number 3 or 4. Let's see. I got seeds, the first kill, then coins, and the Addy chest. So I guess this is kill number 4. Still got plenty of super energy though. Kinda how I gauge if I can continue to another kill. Cause it really sucks if you like aren't able to finish a kill. And you can get into kind of a shitty situation if you go for that. Like I've had it where I've gotten to like 30 hit points just trying to finish a kill and like kiting or walking partially. It really sucks to get in that situation, so the way I figure it is like if you have less than a full, like you want more than 4 doses of super energy to attempt a kill. Otherwise it's really RNG as far as if your diamond bolts hit or not. So if you want to be safe and not like leave a partial kill, then definitely make sure you have at least 4 or 5 doses of super energy to continue. And here you see I've gotten the, I was lucky I guess and got the Sara super restore drop. So that just gives you basically infinite health and infinite prey, you can think, and it just becomes about your energy after you get that drop. So yeah, so here I've got 2 super energy pots left. Looks like I have 7 doses or so with almost full run energy, so that should be enough for 1 more kill, but probably not 2 unless I got like stupid lucky with drops, but we'll see. Here I'm finally able to kill, oh no, not quite able to kill Growler, and I kind of got caught in the middle there, so just a reminder to try to be on the edge when she respawns. Another thing I kind of thought about while doing this was whether it's better to kite her clockwise or counterclockwise, and I couldn't really determine whether there was a better method. You kind of, sometimes you can't really choose because it is a big effort to like change directions without taking a ton of damage, so you kind of just have to be able to be fine with kiting either direction. So I don't really have a preference on which one's better, but it is, I guess you do need to learn kind of the points at which to turn around when you're kiting both ways. Sometimes there's a glitch with the door of the room where, I don't know, there's like a weird line of sight issue. So when you're kiting and you're like right on the edge of the door, or she is, you'll just run into an issue where you'll like try to fire at her, and then your character will like run towards her instead of firing. So just be aware of that it can be dangerous to shoot at her when you're by the door like that. So the fix for it is just to be like, to move your character like 2 spaces in front of the door, so you're not on the actual edge of the square, but you're just a space ahead of it, and that generally fixes it. But you might notice that when you're learning how to kite this. And sometimes it's like I've noticed that it's fixed sometimes, so it's not always a problem, but just kind of a weird thing. So maybe it'll make sense once you've tried the fight a few times, but just giving a shout out to that, because it can fuck you up sometimes, or you'll just take you'll take an extra melee attack from that. So I believe this was kill number 5. I got prayer pots, so I'm just swimming in prayer, and I've got 1 super restore left, so wow, I might actually get 6 kills this run. I guess we'll see about that, because it is pretty tight to be attempting another kill with only 4 doses of super energy, and I've only got 40% run energy, so it's pretty risky to go for it at that point. But regardless, still kill the mobs. Like I think I've gotten 2 God Sword shards from killing Starlight, so absolutely go for the minion kills, even if you don't have enough supplies to continue another kill. If you're learning the fight though, I mean absolutely try for the extra kill, at least until you have a better idea of what supplies you need per kill. And there you see I got a summer pie, so that'll help me a lot, because that's 20% run energy. So yeah, I think I might be able to get 6 kills here. Usually, just saying, I got really lucky with drops as far as I got the prayer pot drop, the super restore and Sara brew drop. I got like 2 or 3 monkfish drops, and then that summer pie drop. So this was a really lucky run as far as getting resupplied. But this inventory I brought, it'll get you at least 4 kills. Like if you just get completely screwed on drops, then you'll still be able to get 4. So that's just the dynamic nature of this fight and the drops she has. There I'm going for the coins and like taking extra melee attacks, which is not great. But the thing is, I have so much prayer, so much food that I can kind of do it. And if I did run out of energy, you can kind of kite her while walking on the sides here. I don't recommend it, but if you get just to a desperate situation where she has like 10 hit points left and you're out of energy, you can semi-kite her by just like walking along the edges and just like running around the corners to avoid her attack. You'll take damage, like she'll probably get a melee attack on you, but if you got the extra food to spare, then that's kind of what you want to go for. Like you see, this is getting really tight. Like she's probably got like 40 hit points left, and I'm down to 40 energy. So I'm taking a lot more damage than I was previously, and if I probably don't have a ranged pot either. Like ranged pot helps so much, so that's why you kind of want to maximize your uptime of it by like not using Sara brews while you're kiting her. You just really want to maximize your uptime for the ranged pot. So yeah, I'm out of run energy at this point. This is just getting crazy because yeah, I'm gonna be walk kiting her pretty quick and just chugging Sara brews trying to stay alive. Because if she does stay in melee range of you for too long, and she gets into if you get into a spot like she's kind of diagonal from you while you're walking away, she can like keep hitting you. So I get lucky here, and she did the magic attack, and that pauses her. So completely out of energy, but I was able to kill her. And so yeah, that's 6 kills in 1 run with 6 super energies. So that's about as good as you could hope for. And you can just see by my supplies, like if I had not gotten the prayer pot drop and the super restore Sara brew drop, I'd be completely out of food as well. So just I didn't get an actual rare drop this run, but yeah, there you go. It's an example of running Sara boss with the kiting method. Guess getting 1 more kill of these minions, and then I'll probably teleport. Okay, just giving up on there. Didn't want to use any of those Sara brews. So yeah, that's the end of the run. Teleported out. If you found this helpful or useful to you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share to other people. And good luck with your God Wars dungeon